Hello everyone, I'm Manas from Another Coder, and in this video we're going to talk about Euclidean algorithm for finding GCD. So we'll not just talk about the Euclidean algorithm, we'll also talk about how this particular algorithm came into existence, and we'll also talk about very basic methods of finding GCD, and at each step we are going to improve our approach and finally talk about the Euclidean algorithm itself. So for the start, we'll talk about what is GCD. So mathematically, as the mathematical definition states, GCD of two numbers is defined as the greatest number which divides both of those two numbers. Right. So the definition is very simple. If we are talking about the GCD of two numbers, it is defined as the greatest number which divide both of the numbers. Now, there's one very important observation here that we need to make, and that is if one of the numbers is 0, then the GCD of those two numbers would be the other number itself. Like for example, if I am calculating the GCD of 5 and 0, the GCD would be 5. And if I take any number a comma 0, the GCD of both of these two numbers would be equal to a. So this is one important observation that we are going to use in further explaining how the Euclidean algorithm works, right? So we'll talk about the naive or the very basic approach or the brute force approach first. So if we have two numbers a and b, there is one thing for sure, that the GCD would lie between 1 and the smaller of those two numbers. For example, if we take a as the smaller number among both of them, then the GCD would definitely be between 1 and a. So what we can do is we'll check if a is the GCD of both of them. If it is not, then we'll subtract 1 from a. We'll check if a minus 1 is GCD of both of them. If it is not, then we'll again subtract 1. We'll check if a minus 2 is GCD, and we'll keep on continuing this particular thing until we reach 1. And at last 1 would definitely be the GCD. If not any number between 1 and a, 1 would definitely be the GCD of both of these two numbers. So the time complexity is obviously minimum of a and b. Which of those two numbers is minimum? It would be equal to O of that number, right? So for example, if I take the GCD of 5 and 8, we'll check if 5 is the divisor of both 5 and 8, if it divides both of these numbers, but it does not divide both of those numbers. So we'll check for 4, then we'll check for 3, 2, and finally 1. At the end, if any of those numbers doesn't divide 5 and 8, both of them, then obviously 1 would be the answer, right? So this is the very basic the basic idea or the naive approach to find the GCD of two numbers, right? So now we'll make our approach a little better by using this particular property, this particular observation that we made in the first slide, that if one of those numbers is 0, then the GCD would be the other number itself. So what we can do to find the GCD of two numbers a and b is that we can make one of those two numbers 0, right? So the idea is pretty simple, making one of those numbers 0, but the question is, how can we make one of those two numbers 0? So to make one of those numbers 0, we need to understand one more property, that is GCD of a and b is equals to GCD of a minus b and b, provided that a is greater than b, right? This is because we don't want our first number to be negative, right? So this is it. Now we'll have a look at why this particular thing works. Let us just take GCD of a and b as d, right? So a can be represented as some number p multiplied by d, right? And b can be represented as some number q multiplied by d, right? So we can write a minus b as pd minus qd, and if we take d common out of both of them, it will become p minus q multiplied by d. So we can represent a minus b as a multiple of d. So right, again we took a number d which was originally the GCD of a and b. Now this number d is also a divisor of a minus b. This implies that d is the common divisor of a minus b and b. So GCD of a and b can be represented as GCD of a minus b comma b, and this condition will hold true, and we'll keep on doing this until one of those numbers is 0. And if one of those numbers is 0, the other number would definitely be like the GCD, right? So the problem with this particular approach is that it doesn't reduce our complexity at all. It will still take O of n time in the worst case. For example, if one of those numbers is 8 and the other number is 1, in this particular case we'll subtract 1 from 8, it will become 7 comma 1. then it will become 6 comma 1, then it will become 5 comma 1, 4 comma 1, 3 comma 1. It will keep on going like this till 1 comma 1, and after 1 comma 1 it will become 1 comma 0. So we see the GCD is 1, but we still went on through O of n complexity. So our complexity hasn't changed at all by using this method. So this is where the Euclidean division lemma comes into picture, and the Euclidean algorithm itself is based on the Euclidean division lemma. So we'll talk about the Euclidean division lemma and what it states. This is one particular thing that you must have studied in high school mathematics. This is the very basic method taught to us in high school on how to calculate GCD of two numbers using this particular method. So we have already studied this, but we are going to discuss this once more. So for example, if we have these two numbers 123 and 32, then if you go like by the previous method, if we like take A and B and convert it into A minus B and B. Now if we go by this particular method, then in the first step we have 123 and 32. In the next step we'll have 91 and 32. Then again we'll have 59 and 32. Then 27 and 32. But when the first number is smaller, then we'll swap those two elements. Then we'll finally have 32 and 27. Right. So this will keep on like continuing till we get one of those numbers 0. But with the help of this particular lemma, we can clearly see that we can avoid these three steps in which we are subtracting 32 altogether. Right? We can avoid these three steps. How? First we have the number 123, and then when we divide it by 32, we get the remainder 27. So what we do? We make 32 as the first number and 27 as the second number. 27, which was the remainder after dividing 123 by 32. So we can take 32 as the first number A and the remainder 27 as the second number B. And again we can continue this step to make 27 as the first number and 5 as the second number. The remainder is now the second number. So it's the same method that we were using earlier, that GCD of A comma B is equals to GCD of A minus B comma B. But instead of subtracting B each time, like we would have to subtract 32 3 times from 123, we just take the remainder, because we know like we don't need to subtract it unnecessarily 3 times. We just know that after subtracting 27 would come as the remainder, the smaller number afterwards. So we can just avoid these three steps. In fact, like in this case, one step would be consumed in this method, or if you take directly A minus B comma B, then again also one step would be consumed. So here you can skip like 4 steps. On the 5th step you will get the same result. Here you can skip 1 step. On the 2nd step you will get the same result. Here you can skip 1 step. On the 2nd step you will get the same result as we are getting here. So once the remainder is 0, the remaining number A would be our GCD. So in this case the time complexity reduces to log of minimum of AB. So we'll see the code for this particular approach, and this is what Euclidean division algorithm is about. It's based on the Euclidean division lemma, and we are just doing the first thing. GCD of A comma B is equals to GCD of A minus B comma B. But instead of subtracting B each time, we are just taking the remainder. Okay, so this is the recursive code for the Euclidean algorithm to find the GCD. So what we are doing is we are taking two numbers. If B is already 0, then we just return A, and if it is not 0, then we just make second number as the first number and the remainder as the second number. This is what we were doing in this particular series. Like we were making the second number, the first number in the next step, and we were making the remainder, the second number in the next step. So this is what we are doing. This is all we need to know about the whole Euclidean algorithm for GCD. So here's a small bonus for you guys. Like if you are using C++, there's a function in the standard template library that you can use. You can use there's a underscore 2 times underscore GCD. In this function you pass 2 integers, and this function returns an integer which is the GCD of A and B. So it's an inbuilt function to calculate the GCD of two numbers in C++. And if you want to calculate the LCM using the GCD, LCM stands for lowest common multiple. You can calculate the LCM of two numbers A and B by multiplying those two numbers and dividing by their GCD. So this is how you calculate the GCD using Euclidean algorithm, and here's how you can calculate the LCM from the GCD itself. So this is all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please drop a like on this video. If you enjoyed the content, please do subscribe. And till the next video drops, keep coding, stay safe, bye bye.